Hey y'all, Jeff here with Jeff's Garage Unfiltered. And look what I'm standing beside in all of its glory. And so let me go back and let's recap, because I know there are several of you out there that have been following the progress on this and there's been a few comments that, they've had the same motor in the same configuration or the same car and are experiencing so much of the same thing that I have gone through. Now, I will tell you, I have spent as much as what I have paid for the car in parts, putting this car back together. Now, I'm going to recap a little bit. I bought this car almost 3 years ago, I believe it was. And I went down to St. Joe, Missouri and got this car. And at the time, the car, it ran, but sort of. And so Yui and I have really, we've tinkered with this car. It still has at least one, I know it's on this side, a hydraulic cylinder leak for the hydraulics for the top. But, drove the car for a little bit and then it just quit. And as a recap, we've changed, it's had other issues. Water pump, we've changed that. We've changed it's had a cold start issue, which, cold start issues usually related to the cold start injector. And it's had just a host of things. We've done the camshaft position sensor, done the crankshaft position sensor. I've taken off the ignition control unit and put some new thermal protectant on there, so it doesn't transmit too much heat. It's got new plugs, it's got new wires, it's got new cap, it's got new rotor, twice in fact. And so then let's fast forward till most recently, where the car died just out in front of the house after I took it up and got the tires balanced. And of course, they told me there were flat spots on them, which I knew that, but at least balancing them would help, at least I would have thought, or at least I think, maybe, but it died right out here. So I had to coast it along, and I coasted it to right here where it's kind of at right now. And then you and I messed with it again. We rebuilt the fuel distributor, took just the fuel distributor off and left the entire unit. Well, that didn't work, and there's a video, or a short video, of where we attempted to start it in my makeshift carport was over there, that kind of got blown apart by the wind. And so, but it backfired, and then that's where she sat. And so I thought at that time, I'll just buy another fuel distributor, because maybe in rebuilding it, we rebuilt it wrong. And I tried this on a 280 SE 6-cylinder, rebuilding the fuel distributor, and I screwed it all up and ordered one, and the car started and ran fine. So that's what I thought we'd do. And in fact, I bought the whole unit, bought it from a used parts place out of Oregon, and put that on. And when I took the old one off and put the new one back on, there's a hose that goes from near the fuel distributor that actually connects to another hose that allows the cold start injector to push fuel into the cylinders. Well, that was all just rotting away. So I ordered that. I've replaced that. Went to try and start it, wouldn't start. And so I don't know if I have video out there where I'm actually trying to start it and there's no, I couldn't see any spark. But great. So we test the coil, change the coil. Still no spark. So that's where I was at with this car. So What I then did, and we got on Google, and did Google searches, and come to find out, this little part right here, overload protection relay. Now, this one was I'd already replaced it once, but apparently when it backfired, it put enough voltage back through the system that it popped the relay of this. I ordered a new one, and I've put it in. And so, just to give you a highlight, the car does start. The car does start, and it runs, and it drives now. However, there's still an ongoing issue. And it's partly because part of it is not related to this. It's not related to anything you would ever dream of. It's related to the alternator. Because what we've done on this is when you start it and it runs fine, except there's a light that comes on the dash, and that light's the SRS light. Well, Google, as our friend, decides to advise us that happens to be a low voltage issue. And so when doing that, well, it's not sending allegedly or apparently there's not enough voltage going into the cold start injector. Therefore, it's not pushing enough fuel in there to start it. Could that have been the problem all along? Quite possibly, but didn't really know if it was. So I spent this weekend, I polished the car because it had been sitting over there all winter, not covered up. You know, it was frustrating because this is one of my favorite cars in my fleet. I've got a 3rd generation SL, and this is the 4th generation SL. And quite frankly, I would like to have a 5th generation SL, but we don't if I ever get there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to start the car, or attempt to start it, because it hasn't been started since yesterday. And we'll see if it starts. Chances are it's not going to right away. And there was a trick that, believe it or not, AI had actually stated, and oh my goodness, I polished the car and I got bird poo on here. I'm gonna have to get. That's frustrating. You know, I spent several hours, and I'm talking 4 or 5 hours polishing on this car, and now I got bird poo. That's just yucky. Oh, I didn't even lock it yesterday. So let's see if it starts on its own without any assistance. Now I wanted to fire. So this is what the cold start injector would help prevent. And there it goes. Now, yesterday when I was doing this, I got to the 3rd or the 4th crank, and I ended up going and squirting a little starting fluid into the intake. But doesn't look like I'm going to have to today. So right now, the SRS light is not flashing, but it will, because every time I have actually started this, after the car has run for a little bit, then the SRS light will flash on and off, and then on and off, and it'll do that for about, I think it does it for 4 or 5 times, and then it'll go off, and then 15 or 20 minutes later, it'll do it again. But right now, I'm holding the accelerator to keep the RPMs up a little bit, because actually there's one other issue that is a problem, and there is the idle stop. It's the mechanical. There's not really any adjustment on the accelerator pedal, at least that we could find, that keeps the idle up. But there is a pin missing to where it, where it stops, where it's to stop it, preventing it from going all the way down. Right now, that's about 850 RPM. Right there is where it should be, and I don't know if you can hear it. That's about where the engine should be. So, and see there, it was just about to die. Temperature gauge comes up very quickly. It's only 80 degrees outside, and we're already up at above 60. And then when I'm driving it, it's at the 100, the line on the temperature at 100, which is in the acceptable range. But and so I think maybe the metering on the temperature gauge is actually off a little bit, because typical normal is going to be just under that line. So there you go, folks. It starts, it runs, it actually does drive, and it's a very comfortable car. I still like the car. The next thing is to get an alternator, because the voltage regulator is part of the alternator. So I might as well get a whole different alternator and be done with it. I stopped at one of the parts stores, and I can get an alternator. They have to order it from the manufacturer, and it can be here in 3 to 4 days. I'm going to do some checking. They wanted $139.95 for the alternator, $40 core charge, plus they wanted $11 for freight. So I'm at $200, which is fine, but I really, and I guess I don't have to send it back. What I was going to do was get this alternator rebuilt and have it as a spare. And Yui kind of suggested that, because I know of a guy in Lincoln, Nebraska, that rebuilds alternators and starters, the same one that did the 280 SEL. But we'll see. I'm going to get online and see. It was through O'Reilly's, so I'll see what it's going to cost for me to do it that way. Maybe I could save $1 doing it online. But there you go, folks. 1991 Mercedes 300 SL with the M104 engine, with a used fuel distributor installed. All the hoses, everything is all replaced. I've driven it now, I think probably 50 miles, 60 miles. I've gone back and forth down out of town and whatnot. The tires actually aren't bad. The flat spots have kind of work themselves out, and while the pavement is warmer, that's usually when they'll kind of work themselves out a little bit. But I'm going to enjoy the car a little bit. So I did notice one thing when I was driving it. The speedometer works on this, and the odometer does not. So it's not calculating up miles. So That's another thing. Got to pull the cluster out and rebuild it, because this one is before the digital ones. This one is, I think the digital one came out in '92. So this one has the mechanical odometer on it. So, but I thought it worked before, but maybe it didn't, or maybe the heat, you know, created the, you know, the gears to crack. So there you have it, folks. My 91 300 SL is on the road again and able to start and drive on its own. Thanks for watching. Put your comments down below. If you have any other questions of what I've replaced on this car, you could refer back to the video series of everything that's been on there. I think I covered pretty much everything, but if you have any additional questions, that overload protection relay can cause lots of issues when it comes to, you know, giving voltage to various different parts. So might not hurt to get one and try it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and be safe out there. And you see my backdrop? See what I got to deal with?